When people treat trash like it's gold because they're just so desperate for good comics, and the standards are just so low. Hello, this is Marvelous Magpie 85, and I'm just here to let you know, comics are not good yet. Comics are really not good yet. I've been reading, and I agree with the DNC, Diversity in Comics, about the fact that they noticed the end was nigh, and they improved somewhat those last issues. But the thing is, what we're getting is these last issues. We're getting the I want to keep my job attempts. And a lot of people are treating them like they're quality products. Most of them are not. Like, okay, I'll argue that Rogue and Gambit, which Diversity in Comics went over, is pretty good. But, The Return of Jean Grey, I'm going to do my own little video on it. That thing's trash. And so too is the, that Restart book that's supposed to be a summary, but it's reality, a really big covert retcon of really stupid things because the people didn't pay attention enough about their sources to backtrack. So, and I'm going to go into that too. But here's the thing. To be fair to CB, and that's the editor-in-chief, I'm calling him CB even though it's kind of personal because it's short. Anyways, CB, he has this, he's doing really well. He's doing a very good job. He's culling the ranks, making sure that those that are good stay, those that aren't go. But the thing is, the company's made up of mostly trash right now. We've got some really bad writers, and I'm not going to fall into calling them SJWs and stuff like that, even though most of them are, because it's kind of an intersectionality problem. And it's this intersectionality framework plus bad writing. I will go into why I don't think it's solely the intersectionality, but that's for another video. Basically, we've got these garbage tiers / indie tiers / hey, this is Novelella on Tumblr, but otherwise you suck. And that's a personal dig at me, so you know, type of writer. And it's not going to be fixed soon. We've got characterizations that need to be written out or ignored. We've got people who do, in fact, like the new characters that need to be appealed to carefully. Those characters need to be reintroduced, reestablished. Like, I hope Gwenpool hasn't gotten lost in Races of Time with bad characters, because she's not a bad character. And they need to rediscover their roots. They need to rediscover what made Marvel Comics great. What made Marvel Comics great, and I will say it right out, DC is about mythology, and because of that, they make incredible sort of detailed stuff that you have to keep reading, otherwise you get lost, and I can't get into it because I get lost. But the characters are cookie cutter enough that you could put anyone in them, and they could play their own variant of it, and you could basically get one-shot movies and one-shot stories that are just great. And then you have Marvel. We know these characters. We love these characters. You can put them in the most absurd plots. They don't even need to make much sense. And as long as these characters are written right, as long as it expands something, we can accept the most garbage rank plot. The strangest alien plots. The strangest time travel plots. If you get something like, say, Spider-Man and Wolverine becoming blood brothers, which is what happened with a time travel comic I want to track down, but I sort of am afraid of reading. Any sort of premise, as long as the character is kept, works marvelously, and that is why Marvel dominated compared to DC. Because DC is... Look, you need some level of intellectual comic. And indie comics in their own way are their own thing, but they're one-shots. DC has a whole universe set in this complex backstory where you could go into various little components. But in general, you can get away with a lot of stuff because it's about exploring a background. It's like sci-fi. And in sci-fi, the characters don't really matter. That's why they translate so poorly sometimes to sometimes to movies. Because movies, you kind of need characters to carry the film and a simple plot. And the thing is, it is really hard to translate sci-fi. It's really hard to translate DC to movies. And that is why I've never really had too much of a problem with, like, the DC movies. I like them because I understand them, and I understand what the problem is with them. And because I know the characters, I can accept the flaws. And because it's a cookie cutter thing, I can accept the flaws. But on the other hand, it's just, you can't do the same with Marvel. Trying to introduce someone else other than Robert Downey Jr. to play Tony Stark would be impossible. Because each of these characters have their own cult of personality, their own, characterization. And when you introduce new people to play the next generation of the same character, it feels cheap. It feels forced. Some characterization gets lost. And that's the problem with the X-Men movies, as much as I like them, because it's not really Scott, for the younger Scott. Jean feels weird with older Logan, Hugh Jackman, so the good thing they're replacing him, good thing they have Laura introduced. And really, it's not, because the writing has been garbage tier for so long, they have to essentially write themselves out of bad fan fiction for the past while. Because they can't just reject it. There are fans who like the fan fiction. So, and there are fans who like the new characters, like Quentin and the other ones. There was a pretty good patch when it was just roughly soap opera-ish, but still good. And that's when all the new characters that a lot of the Tumblrites and the younger generation like, but a lot of people don't, were introduced, and they need to be characterized again. And it's gonna be a long process. I hope they do well. I hope that the SJWs don't fudge. I hope that the intersectional bad writers don't mess things up. And I want Marvel to be healthy, but it's not healthy yet. Anyways, if you like my video, please like. If you are new here and you think that my voice is fine, if you think that you like what I'm saying, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.